Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Jeff here. Today with another video of Brawl Stars. In today's video, we'll be playing some Spike and Smash and Grab, and I'm actually getting this is the gameplay that got me to #1 Spike. So this is probably gameplay from like 2 days ago or something. But however, I'm still #1 right now, and there will be actually another video coming out of me getting 800 Spike. I did tilt a little bit after that, but yeah, I think my personal best with Spike is 805 trophies or something like that. So yeah, I'll be doing a video on it, but this is just some games that we played to get my #1 Spike, and yeah, just pretty good games. So we'll be going over some tips on how to play Spike really well, and there's also one. Well, first of all, if you haven't already saw my video, my last video, which was, well, Brawl Stars posted a live stream, or they scheduled a live stream that will be going on, and it's titled "We Need to Talk." So I went over some of my thoughts on it, and just some other thoughts. Yeah, basically just thoughts on what's going on there, and yeah, make sure to go watch it. But for now, we'll be going over some tips on Spike. So Spike is just such a strong brawler right now. He's probably the best brawler in the game so far, and it's just his damage is he has such a high DPS, and most of the times when you shoot someone, you're gonna deal 2 Spike shots. And what Spike's attack is actually made up, it's all the same damage. It's not actually all like different. So the main shot that comes out, it doesn't actually deal any damage. The main shots doesn't deal damage, but when it explodes, it shoots out 5 different little Spike RNGs, and each of that deals at max 642, I think. And yeah, if you hit a target, it'll always deal 642 damage, or not 600. It will do 2 times of that, because 2 of the Spike RNG will also always hit the target. If you, however, hit a bit to the left or to the corner of a brawler, it would actually hit. It will actually 3 of the RNG shots would actually hit the opponent, so it will do up to 2,000 damage with just 1 shot, which is really amazing. He also has good range and decent amount of health. He's super strong, super strong against tanks, because the ability to really slow them down, so that it will kind of just make them useless, because you can just run away from them, and tanks without getting close to target is useless. So it really and they're slowed down so much that they're basically standing still, where you can just hit every single shot. You can auto aim and you'll still hit at a far range, and it's just really strong. It's just such a good brawler overall. So to become a really skilled Spike player, you really need to learn some things. And his Spike RNG isn't always about luck. You can actually, if you can learn it well, you can just use it so well. He's kind of like Rico in a way that you can just hit people behind walls if you are able to use Spike. So for Rico, if you are able to use the bounce shots effectively, he can be just super strong. Instead of like shooting straight and using the walls, he's just like so much better. If you're just shooting straight without using the walls as Rico, he's so useless, because Cole is just much better at that. With Spike, it's just, if you are able to learn how to use his RNG, well, you can just hit people without you can hit every single shot basically. So just some of the general tips that you kind of want to know is, if you see someone behind a wall, and there's like a little opening at the sides where they're not completely like behind a wall, what you can do is you can stand basically to the side of them, left or right, doesn't really matter, but you kind of want to line your shots up to where the end of the shot is where they're standing, and then you want to shoot to the side of them, so that your shots kind of line up, or it's kind of like it forms kind of like a right triangle. Because what will happen is, when he shoots up and it explodes the shot, it will explode beside the person, and then the Spike RNG, one of them will hit to the side, and it'll just hit them right away. So if you're standing behind the wall, you can always just spam your shots at it. Well, you're not gonna spam your shots at it, but just shoot a couple of shots at it, 1 or 2 shots. And if they don't know that you can do this, they will just stand still, because they'll be like, I'm safe here, and then they'll get hit a lot of times, and it just stops them from healing up. So obviously not a lot of damage, but it's better than dealing no damage. It makes them so that they have to heal up, and it stops their healing if they're low on HP, and also if you hit them a couple of times, they're gonna have to run back because they need to heal. So it's just one of the things that you kind of want to start doing when you're starting to play Spike, if you want to become a much better Spike player. And also, there's so much more just angles that you can hit with Spike. and it's just so strong. So for example, if you are at a point where you're at a wall, you're hiding behind a wall, your opponent is also hiding behind a wall, and you're hiding behind the same wall, and there's a little opening at the two sides. What you can do is, if there's a wall to the side of, let's say you're at the end of the, like the edge of the map, and you can actually shoot to the wall, basically shooting to the side of you, to the, let's say you're on the right side of the map. You can shoot your shots towards the right side, towards basically where you're standing, and one of the shots will just hit the opponent. And it just doesn't really make sense how people find this out, but yeah, you can basically just use that strategy. So shooting to basically where you're standing, to the wall, and it will just bounce to them. So it's just, you know, it's definitely hard to explain. I'll definitely do a video on Spike, just basically explaining his RNG and just a bunch of other things that you need to know. It's really complicated. It's really really good brawler, but if you want to, you know, bring it up to another level using these RNGs like really effectively, it requires a much higher skill cap. So yeah, Spike's just overall really strong brawler, and for his super, really, you can kind of just, you don't always want to throw it down. I like to use it so that, because I do have Spike star power, so you definitely want to use that to your advantage. And if you see a brawler like hiding behind a wall, just throw it down at them, because the only way that they can run is back, because you kind of block, the wall blocks off one exit for them, so they only have 3 exits, to the left, the right, or back. They can't walk forward, obviously, because of the wall. So you can just kind of walk up there. Since they're slowing down, they're not going to walk towards you, because they're slowing down, so that if they try to walk towards you, you can back up without really taking that much damage. So you can kind of just throw it down, use it to heal up a little, and then also just spam your shots at them, and you can kill them pretty fast, unless you throw it at an angle, which is, you know, they're not actually standing in the middle of it, they're standing, it only like hits them once. So yeah, Spike super is really strong. And yeah, just the game modes that Spike can work on, really he can work on any game mode. The one that you probably don't want to play Spike in is in Bounty. Obviously you can make him work, because Spike actually has one of the longest range. I think it's the longest range, I'm not exactly sure, but you know, with his RNG, if you count that in, I think he has the longest range in the entire game. So you know, obviously the RNG shot is not going to deal a lot of damage, it's only 600 damage, but if you are able to play him correctly, yeah, he can be pretty good. But the best maps or best game modes that he actually works at is in Smash and Grab, and he's actually really good in Heist, because in Heist you're really going to see a lot of tanks, and Spike is just such a good brawler against tanks. He's a really good tank stopper. Probably like, maybe sometimes you can debate it whether or not he's better than Shelly, because with Shelly, Shelly actually has to get up close, and you know, she has a chance of actually dying. Obviously her super is going to be super strong, but she does have to get up close, and which means that if the opponent, let's say they have a, you know, a Primo, they can really just easily kill her. But with Spike, you don't always have to get up close, and he still does a lot of damage. But anyways, you can work on any single heist, well, maybe not every single heist maps, but probably like all of them except for one. I'm not exactly sure the name of that map, but you can basically play Spike in every single heist map, and you can definitely play Spike in every single Smash and Grab map, except for one of the newest ones. I forgot the name, I really should memorize it, but it's only a couple maps, 1 or 2 maps of each game mode, like Smash and Grab, a heist that you actually can't play Spike on. But other than that, he can work really well. Obviously if you're playing a map that is like Deep Hollows, like the one that I'm playing in right now, he can have a little tougher time, because in this map it's going to be a decent amount of throwers, and sometimes what people would do is they would play Mortis to actually counter thrower, and Mortis is actually a really annoying target against Spike. Obviously if you keep your range as Spike, you can just destroy the opponent Mortis, but if the opponent Mortis is able to get up close, he can three shot a Spike, and if you don't have your star power to actually heal you up, you will just die right away, unless you have like help from your teammates. But yeah, just really against the Mortis, just keep your range. But yeah, that is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and at the end of this video you'll see me number 1, and yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.